Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about creating meaningful, positive reinforcement. It's a mouthful, but that's what we're talking about. Are you ready? Let's get started. In an earlier episode of Remarkable TV, which you can see linked up here above, I asked people and encouraged you to tell me what you wanted me to talk about here. And a viewer did that, and they said, Kevin, can you talk about creating meaningful, positive reinforcement? And I said, absolutely, I can do that. I don't know exactly what their context was, but I had enough with that to give these ideas to you. But I think there's two things we should do. Before we get to creating it, we should talk about why we should do it. So let's start there. Why should we create meaningful, positive reinforcement? First, to let people know they are doing it right. Think about it. Sometimes people are doing something, we see them doing it right, and often people don't say, well, I don't need to tell them when they're doing it right. They know. Maybe they don't. Or maybe they don't realize that they're doing it as well as you'd like, or as they're having the kind of success that you'd like them to have. So the first reason we should do this is to let them know they're doing it right. And secondly, to build their confidence. Confidence is incredibly important in all of our performances, that when we have confidence in it, we will go at the next time better with more confidence, but we have a better chance of succeeding when we have more confidence. And if we are giving people positive reinforcement, they will have greater confidence. And the third reason why is to encourage them to keep doing it. Right? Think about it. If someone does something and it went really well, but they're not completely sure that that's what you wanted, or if they're not completely sure that it was that good, they might not repeat it. And so not only do we want to reaffirm to people, reinforce that they're doing it right and building their confidence in that regard, but we want to make sure they keep doing it that way. Sometimes people do something right, don't get any feedback, and keep searching for what they think is the better way when they were already doing something really, really well. So we want to encourage them to keep doing it. Okay, so now the question that was actually asked of me, which was, how do you do it? And so I've got some ideas for you there too. First, watch for it. You've got to watch for what people are doing right before you can give them positive reinforcement. So you've got to be observing it, paying attention for it, watching for it, number one. Second, be honest. I've been in lots of rooms talking about feedback with groups when people say, well, I don't want to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to give people spin. I am not suggesting that. Meaningful positive reinforcement should be honest. Someone did something well and they need to know it. It needs to be honest. No spin, no sugarcoating, honest. It needs to be on important stuff. Actually, I love the word meaningful, but I hated to use the word meaningful when I'm telling you how to create something that's meaningful. But the point is, you need to give people positive reinforcement or positive feedback on things that matter, not on little things like, hey, I like your shoes, but on things that are important to their job performance, on the important, meaningful stuff. That's important. Next, do it regularly. Not once a year, not twice a year. People are doing a lot of things right in their work. Are you noticing it, watching for it, and then are you letting them know regularly, consistently? Positive reinforcement will be more meaningful if it is more regular and not just out of the blue once in a while because you happen to watch this video, okay? And then lastly, keep it real. I already said a little bit about the not sugarcoating thing, but I'm going to say it again. It's got to be real, it's got to be honest, and it's got to be about things that matter. Make it relevant, make it real. Don't try to sound like someone that you're not. Come at it from a place of earnest, genuine nature about important things, and you will be creating meaningful, positive reinforcement. I hope this was helpful. Let me close with today's tweet. Everyone wants to know they are doing things right and that others notice. Make sure you give positive reinforcement. Did you know that not only do I do these videos every week, we have a podcast every week. It's called the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. In fact, one of the two things that happens on the podcast each week is there's a recording of one of these episodes. But the bigger part of the podcast is an interview that I have with a leadership expert talking about leadership issues, going deep and having fun, talking about important and useful topics. The Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Join us won't you? And I'll be back here next week for another episode of Remarkable TV, so I hope you'll join me for that too. You will, right? See you then.